Hey guys, so it's been a while, I know, so welcome back. Here it is, the Knightrider KITT model, book number 14. So without further ado, I think we should just get on with it and carry on where we left off, guys. Just as a heads up, of course, there are all kinds of pictures inside this video, but for what we're going to do today is we're going to get into the meat and potatoes, and we're going to start building up on the other side of the fender and putting that on today. Here's all of our pieces so we can get this a cracking. So I'm going to get this out of the plastic. This one here, this here is not made out of plastic, it's made out of metal. We have a couple plastic pieces. Alright, we have another little makeshift metal piece and another plastic piece. We have a cap and some CP and AM screws. This also says R on it, so you can't make a mistake, but since we've already put the other side on, this should be pretty easy. Of course, here we are with step one. Step one, we're going to add this piece on with some screws here. They're going to be the AM screws. Okay, so we're going to attach this and let's enjoy the ride. All right, so now that that piece is on, we're going to move on here to step two, which obviously I've already done, which is to put the screws in. So I've managed to fast forward through that. So our next phase is obviously going to be step three, where we're going to be putting on our little box here. And we're going to be using, for that one, a CP screw. So this will be a total of steps 3 and 4, where 4 we're actually going to be putting the piece on. So just so you know, this piece, as you can see here, it's going to go on with the curvature sides facing towards the screws. It's the only way to go. Alright, once those are on, then we start attaching our piece here. Now with this one, obviously this is going to face towards the screws, and it's going to fit nice and snug right up in there. You'll feel it lock into place. And then what we'll do is we'll then grab our CP screws and put that in. Alright, and of course now we have our CP screw in. All these are nice and snug inside. Alright, so our next phase is to take our cap here. Now there's only one way to put it because it has a little indent, and this will be the last stage for this one, and then we'll be able to move on to the next stage. So I'm just gonna lightly press that in. There we go. Now that's pressed in, and there it is. Everything is all done and set up, ready to go. So what we'll do is we'll put this off to the side and turn the page and go to the next book. And of course, here it is, book 15. As you know, there's still some pictures in here. All right, still some pictures, but we're going to focus on just the meat and potatoes here, and we're going to start putting on some more pieces to this fender piece so we can attach it onto the frame itself. And here's all the pieces for 15. I brought back our fender because obviously we're going to be working on some parts here very similar to what we have done in the previous one. So without further ado, let's get on with step one. Okay, so with step one, I placed on our little piece here. So what I'm going to do is now screw it in. Shouldn't be too difficult here. All right, so we just have it all screwed into place. Okay, I'm using GM screws for this. Alright, so now that that part is done, we have to take our rod. Now the rod is obviously going to go just like we did the last time. It's got a little indent, so you can't forget where it goes. It's going to go right up in here, kind of almost at an angle maybe. And then once we get that in there, then you just screw it down. See, it's going to fit right into place right there, and you just screw it down with a screw. Okay, so I'm going to take the screw here, and we're going to go ahead and get it going. Alright, so now that that is in, we have ourselves a little box here. So we know that this is going to go here, and then I have my little box which is going to go right on over it, okay, just like so, which is very interesting. Okay, so we're going to be able to put this box fairly right over it. Once we do that, I'm going to flip it over and I'm going to get a CP screw again, and we're going to screw it in from the inside. Alright, so to make it easy for me, I'm just going to flip it upside down, and I'm going to put the CP screw inside. And there it is, it's all completed. So now we're going to go on to our next phase, which our next phase is to add a cord. Now this this cord and everything, it's kind of finicky, but we're going to be using some pieces here, which are right here in this piece here. There's a 90-degree angle and a straight one, and you're going to put the straight one at the bottom, which is right here, and then the 90-degree angle one up here, and then eventually we will be adding the cable that we have here to the 90-degree angle one. Alright, so we put on our pieces here, which was the straightaway and the 90-degree angle, and I added the cord. Our next phase, we have to bring back an old item. So here we go, we have our old item in here. Alrighty, so now that we do have it in, obviously we're going to be taking in some stuff. We have some extra cords here, we have another extra cord over here which we know is going to go towards the wheel, and then we have our one piece here. So one of the things that they want us to do is get this recoil spring to kind of go so we can put it into this. So we're gonna take this spring here, I'm gonna get it out, and we're gonna get it ready. And then once we do that, they want us to attach this to the A-frame, and then once we attach it to the A-frame, there's going to be apparently some other little steps here. So yeah, so it's basically retrieve the chassis assembly. We're going to do the front axle, then before attaching the pieces, place the spring, which we have, onto the rod. Then we're going to insert the rod into the right shock absorber. Note the hole on the side of the wheel arch fits onto a small post on the right side of the chassis. So that's going to be right here. And then we have this little hole here. That's what it's trying to show in the picture. If you're following along at home, you're probably seeing the same images here on step 5. So without further ado, so we can get into step 6, is we're going to attach these pieces. So here's the recoil spring. We're going to have that there, and then we're going to kind of, get this going here. It's going to go right up in there, just like so, and then we're going to be good to go. Okay, so now what we have to do is get some EM screws, and the EM screws are going to be fitting right there and right here. So I'm going to go and put those two in. As you can see, everything is mounted up nice and successful. So we're just going to go ahead and start screwing them in. Okay, so now we have one side in, plus we have the other side in. So we're doing pretty good here, guys. I noticed that this was a little bent, so I went back, trusty little tool, and bent it back into place. So that wasn't too bad of an issue. I was a little disturbed, but I mean, it's a little in-depth, but I don't think that's going to be seen once we finish this model anyway, so I am not too worried about that. However, now that all that is done, we need to go to step 7, and step 7 means that we're going to have to flip this upside down. Okay, and now that we're going to flip it upside down, we have to go on the inside where this piece is, and we're going to have to screw that in using a GM screw, and then we're going to be going underneath again for right about here like we did on this one. We're going to be doing it over here, and that's going to be a GM screw. So here we go. All right, so what an issue that was getting this in there. It was a little tight because I had to do all that bending back, but it fit pretty snug. Everything's nice and tight, just like the other side. So we're looking pretty good here, guys. We have one last step, and that is going to be 15A, which obviously I'm going to flip it back over. Okay, and you can see what we're doing. We're gonna put this piece right on top. So this will cover that. We'll put it right on top. Once you put it on top, that's it. All right, don't be trying to take it off. So now we have that rubber piece. We have the rubber piece. Everything's good to go. All right, and ladies and gentlemen, that kind of concludes our stages here. Most models, of course, as you know, on this channel, we've been doing it with 4 stages, but for the Knight Rider car, I've decided just to stick with 2 for right now. So our next one obviously should be to put in our tire over here. So I mean, we're moving along here, guys. So without further ado, that'll conclude this particular video. I appreciate you guys stopping by and watching our video. I do have a couple more coming up because I've been away for a little while. So this video plus another one will be coming out within the week. I just got to finish editing the other video and such. But that will conclude this video today. So like always, guys, thanks for watching. If you can, hit the like button. Also subscribe if you haven't yet. And I hope to see you on the next video, guys. Keep on modeling.